6 of us present, so we have a quorum. And you've been handed out your agenda for next week's regular monthly county commission meeting. And we moved it to the very end of the year so we can do budget amendments at that time. And at this time, Mike Gannon had a few questions that were asked at the last meeting of the budget meeting, and he wanted to answer them to us. Go ahead, Mike.
There were some questions on solid waste and a little research on it, but anyway, the law says each county shall assure that one or more municipal solid waste collection and disposal systems are available to meet the needs of residents. So, and other things concerning you've got multiple sites and all that, but that's the one that we are required to provide a location system for people to dispose of solid waste. So I called some 3 or 4 neighboring, well, not neighboring, but counties similar to us, and Clay County, and I just asked, I didn't tell them what I was done, just asked questions, but I called Clay County. And the population of Clay County is 7,862, so it's just a little over half our size. They accept household garbage, couches, mattresses, and remodeling scrap, and all that, because they said there's nowhere else to pay it. Now, one thing they do have is multiple dump sites. Clay County assigns 37 cents of their property tax to solid waste. 37 cents. Their overall budget is $400,000. 7,862. Now they take their garbage to a private landfill inside of Clay County, so they don't have a hauling fee. But there again, they pay $35 a ton to dump it, but it's a privately owned. They have a solid waste director, which answers to the county executive. And I don't know what he makes, I didn't ask that. They got a solid waste director, 6 full-time and 7 part-time. So they've got 14 employees, counting full and part-time. Ventress County's population of 18,000, so that's about 4 more than we have, 4 more thousand than we have. 13 cents goes out of property tax. But their overall budget's $1.5 million. And they send it to a private landfill, and I think he said Scott County, but I won't say for sure. And they signed a 10-year contract. They have 34 employees. They have multiple dump sites, and they take remodeling, scrap, couches, mattresses, and household garbage. Overton County has a population of 22,083. Now these are according to the last census. Their overall, so we've got roughly 14, so they've got about 8 more thousand. Population, their budget's $1,273,879. They put 10 cents of their property tax into solid waste. But the city of Livingston, the city of Livingston, for some reason, way back, agreed to put their sales tax into it. So the city of Livingston was, my understanding, either part or all of their sales tax into county solid waste. And they get $500,000 from sales tax from the city of Livingston and the county. They take household garbage, couches, mattresses, and building material. It's sent to a private landfill at $33.42 a ton. They have 15 employees, and it has multiple dump sites. Pickett County, I think it's the smallest county in the state, 5,077 residents. They have a $300,000 budget, 15 cents for their property tax. They send theirs to a private landfill. pay $36.50 a ton. They do not have a system such as theirs. They have all open top containers, and they pay somebody to pick it up. Their budget, 5,000 people, was over 500,000 because the county owned the land there. He said, whatever you do, they never do that. And before they closed the landfill, they were paying 34 cents out of the property tax. They cut that down to 15 cents by closing the landfill, but they have to pay $7,800 every quarter for the state to monitor their landfill. So that's $31,200 a year that they pay the state to monitor their closed landfill. They gotta do that, I think he said 20 years. I don't want to say for sure. So in comparison, if you take those four counties, the county a population roughly 14,000, our budget is $525,299. The city contributes $40,000. The county, from the property tax rate, contributes the same amount of pennies from it as they get in 06, 07, and 16 cents. We take the same things, household garbage, couches, and building material. It's taken to a private landfill for $31.81 per ton. And but each load, this is not a ton, each load, which averages between 12 and 14 ton, they charge a $10 environmental fee. And we do all this with 3 employees, so you can see that department is run, according to these other 4 counties, very, very efficiently. But one thing they all have that we don't have, and we can't, I'm not advocating this because we can't afford it, is multiple dump sites. So you see that really drives the cost up. So that's one reason I've been so hesitant to cut the hours, because I rotate the employees. We're the only one that's open over only one of these 4 examples I gave you that's open over 40 hours. We're over 67. My thinking is the longer you're open, if you rotate your people, you're not working any extra employees. It gives most of our people work outside the county, so that gives them a better opportunity to bring the garbage there, most of all. And also it cuts down on the lines because, of course, with the same amount of cars at 167 hours in the 40, it's going to be longer lines and longer ways. The other thing is cardboard, or recycling efforts in making cardboard. This year alone, we have sold cardboard is up and down 55 low per ton, 75 has been the high. The last load we sold was 7 per ton. And we have sold $9,976.74 worth of cardboard. That equates to 156.1 tons. So you have to say if we didn't do any recycling of cardboard, that 156 ton cardboard would be hauled to a landfill. So if you haul it to a landfill, it would cost us, not only would we lose the $9,976 in revenue, we would pay BFI for that, or not BFI, whoever owns it now, we would pay them $4,965.54, $31.81 a ton for dumping fees. The average load, I was told, is 12 to 14 tons, so I took, I said, well, the average would probably be kind of 13 tons. If you took all that cardboard, you figure the tonnage, that's 12 loads, so you'd be spending an additional $3,602.31 to haul it to the landfill, plus $120 for the 12 loads on a environmental fee, for a total of $3,722.31. So if we did not recycle any cardboard, it would cost us $18,664.59 for the 99.76. So I had told somebody I would come up with some figures to the best of my ability, and I just wanted to let you know these things, and if you got any questions of this information, these four counties come from the county executives in those four counties. You're free to call them if you've got any questions.
All right. Any comments, questions right now?
I was gonna ask a question, Michael, and this goes back a ways about the new inspector that we have. When does that take effect, the new house?
So
It's in effect now.
if you build a new house, you're supposed to go to Mr. Smith's office and get a permit.
Do they have provisions where they have to have a bin, you know what I mean, a collection bin? Seems like that would be a good idea for them to include that, or we wouldn't be getting all of this other materials that are scrap lumber and stuff
Commission
like
would
that.
have to pass it. I would think the commission would have to pass a recommendation that you would have to have.
Because I've seen two houses being built very close together. One had, one didn't have. And I wondered where all this other material went that didn't have to be. Where was it? And I didn't see a burn pile.
So there's no, I know out in rural areas, usually they burn. But if they have the problem,
But that was just a,
as you can see here, Clay County with half our population have 14 employees. Fentress County with 4,000 more than we have 34 employees. 15 employees in Overton County with a population of 22,000. And I don't have the number of employees in 5,000. So we're running pretty efficient, it looks to me like. And we've got a $525,000 budget. You go to Clay County, they've got $400,000 budget, 37 cents on property tax, half our amount of people we have, so. We do, I think it's, looks pretty good there. The only thing we don't have, and I'll tell you, that these four counties have, like I said, it's multiple sites you can take, and it'd be great if we had one at all the time, had one in Wood, one in Short Mountain.
But that's where they get their more employees and their more,
Yeah.
we're running. The efficiency is what we're looking for.
And
And every, you get the people, it's centrally located.
centrally located, and we still have some people, I got a call today over in Auburn Town on Bridge Road, I believe it's called, somebody dumped 4 or 5 bags of garbage. Just didn't want to drive Woodbury, well, I guess the bridge being closed, they dumped it there, so I got some Russell's crew over there, essentially getting there and picked that up. Then occasionally we had 7 tires to pick up the grade this morning, I don't know why they do that. And some of these counties charge households to dump garbage. We don't charge to encourage them to bring it. And 99% of the people bring it over here, but there'll be one every now and then, they'll on the side of the road. So if they are encourage people calling, I'll send the weather crew out there to pick it up. But,
Do they go through it and see if there's any addresses?
yes, and the sheriff's department has written, when they find it, they turn it over to the sheriff's department, he has, but his department has written tickets for that. If we find a name, they turn it over to the sheriff's department. And I don't know how many, but I know there's been 2 or 3 at least that have been given citations.
You said they charge people to dump?
Some counties do, that was in that earlier, that, like so much a pound or so. and
Do
then-
they have scales or something? Do they, some of these
Fair
counties
enough.
would? So I guess the question is not whether it's running efficiency, I guess is it running fair? Is the cost being distributed across, 14,000 people even? If you use the dump, are you going to charge for it? If you don't use it, are you going to charge for it? I think that's the only question I have. I mean, I understand you're running it pretty close.
Wouldn't
It's
everybody though use it?
Well, I mean, some people would use it more than
Yeah.
others, that's my point.
Yeah,
Some people that don't use it, maybe just use it for residential trash, they're maybe paying more burden for somebody else who's unloading household wood, and kitchen clean out, so you're subsidizing their.
Or course,
business operation.
you're
I
right.
think that's the
Of
question.
course, we all pay for the schools, and some of us never have kids, some of us have kids grown. We don't, the whole, everybody has to pitch in to pay for the schools, I guess solid waste is like that. I think y'all asked me to try to cut some out of that budget, and I've looked at, we're gonna do good to finish the year with what was allotted this year. The revenue's down a little and all that. I know of nowhere to cut $11,000 out of, but I cannot come up with anywhere. The only thing I can tell you that might do it would be, and we don't wanna quit taking tires, we don't wanna quit taking that stuff simply because, we don't wanna go on South Road.
Yeah, ours is bad.
County is much cleaner today than it was 20 years ago. But what we, if we started charging, private haulers, businesses and all that, we might can make up a level there, I don't know. You know, we just have to figure out a system, how to charge without scales, you just have to kind of figure a way to do it. I don't know exactly how it can be fair to all of it.
I mean, even if you put the system in place with scales, you'd have to have somebody to collect money. I don't know if that's a solution either. You have to have an address, you have to have a system in place, you have to probably put a computer operator down there. You got the whole
Create
gamut.
another-
You create, I'm not, I'm just.
Another round of expenses that it wouldn't pay for. So that would be, I'm not saying that would be a good idea or bad, I don't know, I don't know what people would do with it, but, and you know my stand on, if there's private people picking up garbage out here, they're gonna pass that on to the consumer, which is the taxpayer that's already paying. And then if they all quit hauling it in those cars, I know one guy has 125 customers, but we can start charging them and make some of that level you asked me to cut. And, and you can charge businesses, but that's something we need to look at. And I deeply appreciate anybody's ideas. None of us are above learning something. Sometimes people give you ideas. I know Glenn brought up something here a while back that I had never thought of, and it was a great idea. And I had never thought of it, and, you know, I appreciate that. Sometimes I use them, sometimes I can't, but you won't find any Department of County Government, I don't think, that's running any more efficiently for 14,000 people, 3 employees. And then if you go back and look at the property taxes, a lot of these other counties plus other money, I think we're doing an excellent job. That's my personal opinion. I've been doing it 14 years now. I just think that we're doing an excellent job. Can it be improved? Anything can be improved. And I'm always open to suggestions.
The roads and the ditches in our neighborhood are much cleaner than they were 20 years ago. You don't find as many.
The one issue that we can argue over, we can disagree on, whatever, but this is all in the opinion. I'll never let any private or county build a landfill here. That'd be the worst mistake you make,
Okay.
especially if it's county owned.
Yeah, if we
Jackson
were,
Hall, we passed Jackson
Yeah,
Hall, so
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, we took
it
care of
would
that.
take,
You took care of that, that's a 2/3.
be 8 votes out of 10. Not- so-
I said 2/3, took 2/3 to pass the Jackson Hall, I think, and I need to go back and look, it may just be a simple majority to it, but if I want to build a private landfill and charge up the county spring it in, I've got to have permission of the county board to do it. And I appreciate y'all doing that because people just don't know what a landfill, how it harms you. It's about like a prison, a regional prison built here. That's two things you just don't want, in my opinion.
Well, you know, I get back to what Brent was saying, you know, you've got contractors and all this that comes up there and dumps for nothing. And then the regular homeowner, they're paying for their use of our facilities to be hauled off. Now, you know, I'm like Brent, rent, I have a problem with that. Because, you know, why would a person that owns a home here, why should they subsidize the contractors and all that that's doing the work and getting paid for it, and then they're having to pay for their usage of the dump?
You know, there's been a lot said about the guys that build mini barns. This one that brings the most, he pays $100 a load. No, it's $100 I think it's $100 a load, I'm pretty sure. Because he pays quite a bit of taxes. He pays business taxes, which is raised to 40%, where a homeowner, a landowner, only pays 25%. And if you're on the farm, you've got Greenbelt to take off of that. So he pays I looked it up, $3,400 a year in property taxes and business taxes. Not only does he pay 40% on the business, he has to pay on his personal, his personal property that business owns at 40%. So he pays a lot of taxes, plus pays us, I think $100 a load. I'll have to go back. It's $100 every time he pays on it. He pays us every time he comes, every month.
He may be paying more next year. I mean, in our budget proceedings, he may end up having to pay.
I'm not
more.
trying
We
to
all may
make,
end up paying
I'll
for
shut
it
up, let
more.
y'all handle, but one other thing, I looked at.
The city had to pay, they had to pay the city to get that, they pay anything else.
The more, and I don't know, and I'll give you the name and the numbers, but I called Mike Corley about the school fund, about the population going down. He contacted the comptroller's office. Here's the letter that they sent him, and, you can lower school funds, you get the populations down. All right. So then they suggested he call Miss Mary Ann Thurston at the State Department of Education. And, I don't know, he didn't, don't care there. She thought, but this is not concrete, that for each student, but you can't go back but for last year. In other words, if the population was 2,000 last year and it dropped to 1,900 this year, you can't go back for 4 years, you can only go back 1 year. It'll be 100 students, but she thought it was around 40 or 50 to 100, somewhere in that range. She didn't even know it at the time he was talking to me. She thinks that for each student, you can cut that fund to $1,480.
You gotta maintain the same per pupil funding,
Yeah.
per pupil funding rate.
And I wanted Mike to check that for us so we would know. I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and I wanted, here's the danger. If we, let's just say this board, not me, but this board decides we're gonna cut 200,000 out, and 2 or 3 years down the road, we cut too much, we gotta pay it back. We want to make sure that if you, and I'm not advocating cut there, but if you cut it, make sure you cut it within that guideline so we don't have a danger of having to pay it back later. Maintenance of effort.
Okay, that was their question on education. Let's go back to the solid waste just a minute. Now, the city, yes, the city residents, City of Woodbury puts $40,000 a year into it, into the solid waste. The only problem I've seen in that was that it's been $40,000 a year for the whole, for the life of it. That's what they started with, and it probably should have had a cost of living adjustment on it some way, because of the expenses would go up from the city and the county, but the city's portion is the same. But the city people they pay county taxes and city taxes, and they get theirs, like you said, Chuck, they get theirs hauled over, they pay to have theirs hauled over there. But that's the same as the people that are in the county that hire a private hauler to haul it. That's essentially the same as the city does. The city is paying somebody to haul theirs over there too. Any other comments on the solid waste before we go to Glenn?
Mr. Chairman, I appreciate all of your effort in getting this information about solid waste there, and I don't disagree with you in the
recycling motor cart, it would cost us $18,664.59. Some of that's an estimate, and what I'm basing that on, is that, this year we sold right at $10,000 worth of cart, or $9,976.
If you didn't recycle cardboard, how much would we save in labor,
Well, now that's,
gas, vehicles, trailers?
I don't know that you'd save anything in labor because
How much does it cost for a trip?
most of the trips are around. We have a few, we have to do 3 market to road, but Parsley's, we go to
Around $5.30 a trip,
which will close.
average.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
All 20 locations.
We don't have,
So that was not included in.
no, it wasn't.
One other question. I believe you made a statement that solid waste is planning on being within budget this year. You know you're already over.
How much of it?
Budget is $5,124,644, and as of today, I'm sorry. $525,291, and so far the expenditures this year is $539,912. So giving the numbers still over a little bit.
We're over 11,637, so our estimate at the end of the year.
So we're over already at $100.
Yeah, about 11,000.
Now, a little bit of that will be estimated simply because the year's not.
But you only have one of them.
You don't have, yeah, a little, so, yeah, we're gonna be a little bit over. But if you are, yeah, you're right, but also we had, a cost on that.
So do we need to add money to the solid waste?
All right, let's do that.
What?
Why? What it costs, we're running on a shoot train.
Cost, and then, the cost would go up as much as, we just get a larger amount of garbage every year. You know, everything you buy now is full of
Yeah,
Everything with money.
our people are generating more garbage.
Yeah, and that's true.
There's not, and it's been a gradual thing.
Recycling is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to do.
We-
Save any money,
One county here
it's the right thing to do.
has just started recycling. Which one was it? I believe it's, Pickett County, they just now started recycling. We recycle that way, something like 8 or 9 items. And I didn't think, I'll be honest with you, I had people, my wife, one of them, pushed me, Diane, let's do plastic, Plastic ton-wise is not a lot, but it takes up a lot of room in the trailer. I didn't think anybody would. To be honest with you, a few like Diane, you wouldn't believe the participation in the plastic recycling. And now, we don't get anything for it, but it saves us from having to haul it to a dump and pay for a dumping fee and drive it down there. Van Buren County even comes and gets it.
I'm glad Van Buren County's coming to get our plastic, that's really close. And that dumpster, it fills up fast.
I would have never believed that people would have recycled plastic like that. We're working on trying to get it where we can recycle.
Anything else,
plastic.
Lynn? Anything else on solid waste, right quick? All right, and then you started on the education there. A couple of weeks ago, we had the director of schools here and a couple of school board members, and we wanted to get them back. But the director of schools does not want to undercut her committee that she works with when they're still working on their budget. So she wanted them to finish their work before they came here and had some, talk with us.
She wanted them to approve it.
Yeah, and then she didn't want to come over here and present to us a budget that had not been approved yet. It was just an estimate or a temporary budget, So we're going to, what did you say, Mike, that they were going to work on theirs? They're going to try to approve theirs next week?
Tuesday night, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday night. the school board's gonna try to get their budget approved, and then, we'll,
There was nothing she could tell you tonight, because, I mean, you can't say, well, here's what I think it'll be, you can't base a budget on it, so she basically gotta wait till the school board sets that budget. So they'll have it Tuesday night, it'll be ready to go, Thursday.
and if we, the 30th, we don't have to have the school board budget though.
You said
Before the
everything.
30th, we do need, we want to have it though, before the 15th of July, which is our meeting that we customarily have set, the school board's tax rate that they're getting. We'd like to be able to set it on the 15th, don't you think, Jim?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, they know from day one when we started with the budget of this county, they knew this. They knew we was a work in progress on this.
Well, they're working on theirs at the same time.
Well, no, they waited till later on before they started their budget process. I mean, you know, we've been going through our stuff for the last, 4 weeks, Glenn, before they even started cranking up on even thinking about working on a budget. So, I mean, there's no excuse.
I don't know when they started and what difficulties.
I don't know which night.
Well,
I know we started first though, I know that, you're right about that.
I think just the question with the school budget, is just like I've been saying all along, I got the legal documents right here, but, you know, every school board member, I'm sure, I'm not speaking for them, is probably elected on the fact that they want more money for the school. I mean, that's what I've heard my entire life, you know, we, more money, more money. I'm just saying the documentation shows that we are meeting the local contribution rate plus. There were no other way around it. We're required.
I mean, we're paying them extra money, that's not only.
We're required to give them approximately $2.2 million every week out in this. I think the number is 2.180, and we're giving them roughly 2.6. Rough math. So it's just whatever we want to do. If we want, what I want to do is I don't want nobody to say that we're not funding school.
Well, and then another thing that comes out of my district, they said, you know, we really, we really want our schools to be what they should be. They're willing to pay. But now as far as their students and as far as the schools not being accredited, they have a problem with it. Why am I spending all this money? Where is the benefit for my child?
What does it mean schools are not accredited?
I think there's a accreditation process at the high school. The elementary schools have went through some, but I understand that the high school is not accredited.
You don't have to be accredited to go to college.
You don't.
You
I
don't.
understand, but why wouldn't you want to be?
don't have
Because
to
the
be.
state takes care of all that. Everything is already taken care of. Why would you pay somebody else to do it when you already have to follow all these guidelines?
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Well, we can meet after and we can talk about it. But the state already tells them what they need to do. They follow up on them. Why would you pay another service to do that for you
What does other counties do?
the same way?
They're not accredited either?
They're all going away from that. Now, I don't know who, and I can look it up, but they're going away from that
Well,
because,
it just sounds bad if you say your school system's not accredited.
do we have any problems with any kids getting into a college because of that? No.
No, we don't.
Well, I'm glad you're here. The document here, Shelley, is, I can kind of go through, is that we have a requirement from the county to help y'all with local contribution. You're familiar with the number, right? You're familiar with the local contribution, the entirety of the budget, like $16 million. Our portion here is about $2.2 million. You get about $2 million from property tax, you get about $600,000 from sales tax. Is that, now, what I've asked Barbara, is that enough? That's $400,000 extra.
Well, I mean, I'd have to look at everything you all looked at too, and whatever you talked to her about, I'm not privy to that. I don't
Okay,
know.
right.
I mean, that's not really fair.
Well,
I'm a one person of a group.
And Shelley, I'm glad you're here, but we don't want to rush y'all.
No, and I haven't,
And we want to let y'all do y'all's budget, like the state requires you to.
and I haven't recommended cutting anything. I've just said that the only phone calls I've had is that, schools aren't funded. I said, okay,
I know by law, we're supposed to do certain things, so I did the research and found out that we are funded. We're ranked 46th in the state for local contribution. And that's what I've been saying. I told that to Barbara 2 years ago, and I told it to her this year, and I told several others. So and that's been the question here, and I know
That's
we
less
don't.
than 50. I mean, you're not in the top, even the top 50 then.
Yeah, you
I
are.
know
You're
there's
ranked
95,
46.
there's 95 counties,
138.
more schools.
There's
There's
not that,
100.
there's more than that. There's
Yeah.
more than 100.
There's 138 school
Yeah.
including cities, so we're ranked, systems, and we're ranked 46th.
Right.
Now,
But if
compare-
you're talking about cutting $1,400 per student, then you are cutting funds.
No, we're not
No.
saying 1,400.
Well, the point they were talking about was 1,400 per student, it's not there anymore.
Right.
You see, if there's
Okay.
100 less students,
If,
you know, that's
if,
what we.
you can't, you're basing
The
on, yeah.
the population since roughly 2006 and the student population has went from 2,100 to about 1,840. That's the question of student. And the only thing the state says, okay, if you start decreasing your money, county legislative body, you can't, if you're giving roughly, and I think the number right now is about almost $10,000 per student, about $9,300, you just can't cut that less. You can't all of a sudden cut them to, 9,000 or 8,700. You have to maintain the per pupil rate. So if you're giving them the same local contribution rate, they're actually getting more per pupil because they're getting more money. We got less students, you get more money from our standpoint.
From you all.
From us, yeah. And that's the only
What
thing
do
we.
you all give per student?
Well, that's, I can figure that math, but, that's.
What do you all give per student?
We give 2.2 million.
Per
We give 2
student.
We give, I don't have the math on that.
Just do 2.2 million divided by
Well,
1,900.
it's actually, it's 2.6 million.
All right.
I guess we'll sit there and figure that out then.
Now, you don't have to do it right now, you can do it another
No,
time. 'cause
I mean,
we're
this is
getting-
a budget time.
Well, I mean, because you said we're behind, and I can't say that we're any far less behind than you are. Or the same.
I understand you can't go back to the high year and cut it. You have to go back to last year, so more than likely the student population won't be that much difference from what it was last year. So whatever you paid in last year,
It's 1450, what it is.
if you've got only 50 students or 30 students less this year, that's all you would be able to.
So you said the number was 1444?
She
Yeah.
estimated 14.
Right. So they're reaching 1444.
1480.
1480 is what you got?
That's what
Yeah.
Mike said a while ago, it's 1480.
Now, that was an estimate from the state. 1480 per student, but you gotta go back to last year's population, enrollment, and then whatever it's down this year from last year. You can't go back to 3 years.
Right, that's how they funded the BEP.
Well, we did it several years ago, that's what this big done.
You can't go back,
Just-
say you had 1,800 4 years ago,
Right.
last year you had 1,400, it only dropped 1,375, you only fell 25.
Right.
You can't go back to 1,800.
Is there a snapshot date that's based on? How many students are enrolled on January 1st?
They roll a 3-year average at the end of the year, so I think the high point in 2006-8 timeframe was 2,100 students we had in the county, and we've slowly been on a decline. And I don't know when the last time you got 86 cents on the property tax. That's what I've been trying to figure out. We went to 88 cents, we almost went to 90 cents last year, we didn't do that. And that's why I haven't proposed a cut. I've just said, right now, we are giving more per pupil.
Yeah, we have, one thing you have to keep in mind, last year's enrollment for this year had, there's a few, I don't know how many, 30, 40, 50, whatever, and it's all over the county, so therefore no schools have closed, no teachers have been laid off, so technically their expenses haven't went down at all.
Well, with the schools, it's a structural thing. You understand. They basically say, you've got 1,800 students, you put them all in one pile, and you get funded one pile, one location. We've got locations, 6 locations plus a high school. So you have more principals, more staff needed in other places. The state doesn't care. All I'm trying to say is that we have numbers that tell us how much we're supposed to give as a legislative body. We're doing that for you guys. Is that enough? Matter of fact, I propose we raise property taxes 50 cents. To go ahead and give you $1 million over that.
Well, I mean, all I can say is I'm going to say
How
just like
about
the rest
that?
of them.
I told Barbara right here in this meeting, I said right here, I said, let's go ahead and raise property tax 50 cents. Let's get a JRTC program, let's get fully funded funds for it, let's get a bank. I said that in the last county commission. That's the thing,
They don't have.
What's the capacity, how many students can we teach? Our facilities are designed to teach how many kids?
Well, y'all was here, I was gone, but didn't we just, raise the population capabilities, did a bunch of expansion in 2005 timeframe?
They had portables a few years ago, and we did a building program to try to cut down on portables.
13.2 million.
So how many?
I think our capacity, Mike just said 2002, no?
That's when it was expanded to around 2000.
Right.
I think what we're capable, I know at one time, Woodbury Grammar wasn't half full, maybe full.
I guess my follow-up question is, if we have a capacity to teach 10,000 kids, and we only have 1,800 kids in the school system, some of those facilities need to be stopped using.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's our structural problem. We have populations, and I haven't looked at, what the fire code is saying, probably in some of these small elementary schools of about 250 kids, plus or minus. They got some with about 100, 110, they got some with maybe 300. So it's a distribution of population where we got kids. You still have to have a structure over top of them. And again, and I'm not the one who manages schools, I'm not in the schools. I'm just saying from a legislative body, we're responsible for giving a certain amount of money.
But they have no accountability then for that.
The school board
That's the
does.
schools.
That the school board does that.
Right.
You just have to give them money and.
Well, the state requires every legislative body to fund every school, through a percentage basis based on population. They give us what's called local contribution.
Yeah,
Our local contribution, our requirement is 2.180,
yeah,
roughly $2.2 million.
yeah.
We give them roughly $2 million in property taxes, 88 cents. Plus we give them some sales tax, all the sales tax is $602,000 plus various sundries. That's kind of where we're at. The question I was asked about a year ago is that are we funding schools? We're not funding schools, so that's where I just started kind of research. I think we're funding schools, I just don't know if the structure's right, the rest of it, that's not up to me, I'm not in charge of it.
That's school board.
That might be something to send the school board's way, is that if you got two schools that would have census, maybe
The school board knows.
maybe you bust to one that has 100% census and shut that one school down.
The school board has been talking about
Yeah.
those exact type things, but that is just, it's not an easy thing, and you might have a population growth later in those communities, and it turned around, so that they don't know. But we'll let the school board do their job.
And for y'all's information, you know where we're at with paying off the buildings and so on. All right, the old high school, it was built around 1999, okay? As of 5/16. No, this is the high school.
It was built in about 76 and then.
Right.
1976.
Right, I'm talking about the total of what, as far as the high school, the last vote we done.
The addition.
In addition to the high school.
So, we're looking at $470,000, that's all it's owed on.
Right, on the addition.
Right. So, that right there, that was your $10 wheel tax sticker at that time. That's what it went to pay for.
No, it went to pay for the original.
Right.
Original.
Original.
It's paid.
Now, with the other, that we done the expansions on, which was 2001 when the note was done. We owe $6,820,000 as of 5/16. Which,
You're close, I thought it was 6.4.
well, all right, if y'all made the payment of $480,000, which the note is, then if you paid it since the 5th month, then we're looking at 6.4. So, you know, and I'm looking at this, we got $2 million sitting there to pay on these buildings. Why don't we go ahead and pay off that $470,000?
Talking about schools, that now?
I'm talking about the building fund.
Okay, building fund, okay.
We got over 2 million, how much? 2 million what? 2.1 million? We owe 470,000 on that. On one. Pay it off.
Well, the budget committee can't do that.
But what I'm
The whole
saying,
commission.
I understand that, but that's what I'm saying, that's why we're here right now. Why
That's
don't-
something that ought to have the numbers shown on it, to pay us to do it. I'd advise you to pay it off, if not.
And we can make a recommendation to the whole commission to do that. If it,
Now, you know, and we've talked about this before, we're generating roughly around $635,000 a year on the wheel tax sticker right now, right?
that's right.
All right, or no, how much? 635,000, ain't that correct? It's close to me on that. All right, the note payment on it is 250,000. Right? How much is it?
No payment, the schools contribute to it.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
schools contribute to it.
All right.
Food debt service to pay off the bills.
Okay, so how much is it?
Wait a minute.
The payment on this
All-
6.4?
For all the schools, all the
Right.
addition
All
is
the addition.
6.4.
6.4.
I don't know how, if you break it down to the high school, I don't know. It's
All right.
included in the 6.4.
Now,
So you.
the note is 487,000.
That's one note, but I don't know if that's the high school. That's talking about all the expansion was done at the same time. You're probably right, I'm not saying you're not. I just
Well,
don't.
I mean, this is what Diane.
So what's going into debt service a year is about little over 600,000 from wheel sticker and 250 from the school department.
Okay.
It's going in it per year.
So another question I've got, when we pay on the buildings, the excess money goes to the principal.
We pay a certain amount of principal every year, they send, we have an amortization schedule.
Well, I understand that too, but if we have this extra money, why don't we just go ahead and put it on the principal and you know, get the note out of the way? Get these payments away from us. I mean, we're money ahead if we do this. Well, I mean, as far as interest and all this, yeah,
We'll
it comes.
have to check and see. You might even be better off keeping them in the finance at lower interest rate. You know, you just have to run the numbers. It's hard to say.
That is a variable rate, that was what it's
Well, that I can't understand either. Why would we go with a variable rate? I mean, if something was to happen, I mean, that's like somebody buying a house.
been that way the whole time we've had it. I don't-
Well,
That's how we set it up.
Right,
But it's always, it's low, and I said something.
right, I understand.
1.6.
Well, it's paid off. Of course, it could have been a disaster had it shot up 16%. It would have been a disaster, but the reports been very high. I don't know why it was set a variable rate.
But you know, that was two questions right here I think we need to look at, because, I mean, if we can get this paid off quicker,
And that, when we discuss debt service for the education
Right.
debt service, we need to make that recommendation to the whole commission.
But we need to have some numbers.
So we got,
we need numbers.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
by next, meeting, not, every 2 weeks, I suppose, have us some figures on what it would cost, and about three different scenarios, paying that smallest one off, and then, paying extra principal on some of the others, and how much that would reduce our payment. Now, the reason that more wheel tax money goes into that debt service than was necessary to pay it off is because there's a lot more cars than there were in 1999.
Sure.
I mean, that's
There's no
when, when the commissioners at that time set that up on a 25-year note, it started in 2001, they set it up on a 25-year note, and they estimated how many cars there were at that time, and they put $40 on it, and said this will carry it. And it has, and now we've got more cars, so we've got more money. Okay, and we'll discuss that when we go to education debt service. Is there anything you want to bring up on the other debt service, the county debt service? We discussed it last week and had a few questions on it.
I didn't update that.
You didn't update that.
Well, that's all linked on, if we're gonna buy, let me make sure I got this right, 3 fire trucks, 5 police cars, do what, rescue squad, what, 75,000?
Right.
Then, that's what, about $485,000 worth of, almost $500,000 worth
That's
of, loan.
everything is financed, right?
That's what's gotta go to debt service?
That's what we paid out of debt service. You'll have to figure out how long you want to extend that date, 3, 5, 7 years, whatever, but then you gotta keep in mind, we've gotta work with the comptroller's office about, putting $1 million into the school debt service.
When will we have an answer, a firm answer from the comptroller about how this debt service, fund is supposed to be split? Do we have an answer from him yet?
You've got it. I just got it a few
For
days
the
ago.
schools, the $1 million bills?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
What did he
And I
say?
can, well, I'll just give it to you short form, yes, we will have to put $1 million from county debt service. Now, I say $1 million, maybe 908, maybe $1,020,000, but around $1 million.
I think it's $1,040,000.
Okay, $1,040,000, back into the school debt service fund. But they
How much
said,
time? Yeah.
they said, they hadn't told us that, they said they'd work with us and give us, help us. And
So
I'll
that
give what I-
that extra decade that we kind of spent over
Yeah.
for
Well, paid off some early notes and different things. I tell you what, y'all go ahead and get talking about something, I'll run each of you a copy of this, and y'all take it home.
Please.
Yeah, go do that. And the reason we paid those notes off early is there was a discussion here, and we had somebody from CTAS that told us to pay them off early. And we, in good faith, paid them off early. And now it's coming down to bite us, and we couldn't do that. And I don't,
Well, I mean, even though you said that, you know, then the argument was, well, the state looked at it and said, well, they said we can do this, and now they're saying we can't.
that's right. So that's all water off the dam.
Right. So I don't think we're.
Yes, Karen?
He's talking about buying the 3 fire trucks. We heard from the insurance company today on gas waste truck. They're only offering us $25,700 for that truck.
Okay. 25,700 is what they're saying that they're gonna pay on that total. Is there any amount of equipment that can come off of it?
Yeah, that's close to $3,000 on equipment that was torn up that they'll replace, or they'll give us that money for that, but, they pretty well took off what can be taken off.
Yeah. That's it, we could buy it back for $1,500. Don't know what it's gonna cost to fix it.
Well, everybody that's ever had a wrecked car goes through that same thing. Should I take the money, or should I go buy it back and have it fixed? And that's, everybody in this room has probably dealt with that at one time or another. It's just, it's a hard decision to make sometimes. It depends on how much it's gonna cost to fix it, and how firm of a contract you
I
can get
just
somebody to
wanted to
fix
let
it.
y'all know that's where we stand on replacing that truck right now.
And Karen, that 25,000, is that 25,000 and 3,000, or is that 3,000?
Yes, and 3,000 for the,
So it's 28,000.
It's just shy of
Mr. Barton?
Yes, sir.
Last Castle, Castle 2001 car apparatus, we're ready to sell right now. It's 2001. It has a 1,000-gallon tank, and my understanding is it has a 1,250-gallon pump. They're wanting $20,000 for that 2001 one.
Does the fire board know about it?
I'm sure that they don't, because I just found out about it just a little bit ago.
Okay.
The $20,000 is not set.
So $20,000 set, that's what the last one sold for.
Okay. Well, tell the, Chuck, make sure the fire board knows about that, because they're the ones that,
We only
Fire truck was that.
Gas waste.
I'm sorry?
gas.
Gas
board.
waste truck.
And it's one of the ones that would pass the pump test, right?
Is it the federal?
It's one of the last three we bought.
American or federal? I mean, you know.
No, it was
we're in the hole.
one.
We got a lot of
Big
spar.
time.
We got a lot of
Spar, that's spar truck.
Well, is that right?
I don't know.
$1 million from wheel tax to go into schools debt service. Now, who spends good school debt service? So we gotta take money that we owe the schools because over a decade, we spent a portion of the wheel tax. We gotta take the money away from them and put over the schools.
To buy other things.
Fine, okay, whatever, but can we use, and we can use that money to pay their own debt off, or the school's debt off?
No.
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 Yeah, we can't take.
Yeah, we can.
That's where the money should have gone.
Yeah.
What I'm, but the
That's
thing,
where it goes to the state, yeah. that's what-
General debt service fund.
But that, I mean, I know what you're saying, that ain't what it,
Education.
that ain't what it was, that ain't what is, that's what not went to the taxpayer. That's not went on the voting block, I know that.
right,
The wheel tax was for school bills.
School bills.
Not extra
Extra.
sundry items.
exactly.
That's right, lettuce, whatever. And then we want $500, $500K in new debt. Right, that's what
Right.
we got.
But that's another fund.
That'll go into the debt service fund. We got, okay. And then we need about $1 million just to start the year off. Or we have to borrow money to do it.
No.
Just making sure now, you know, I just.
The, what the state has done, they've depleted our regular debt service and created a new one.
Without needing new revenues.
But we still had the old, we have two.
We got two now.
And one for schools.
They've created this, they created this a new one and took all our money and put in it.
Well, what they've done, they separated to make sure that we wouldn't dip into the schools part like it was
And we
before.
pay that note every single year on
Yeah.
time, and that's what bothers me. But
We only need about $1 probably.
Yeah, that's what you're looking at. To do this. I mean, we'll get real about it.
they don't make you do it all the
It's kinda like
time.
playing high, I feel like I'm in Vegas, we're playing high stakes poker here, and I'm trying to cash all y'all out, make you fold, keep raising.
We know, in that same vein, okay, little analysis, we're 9 cents without anything changing, without buying anything else, entering any other debt or anything. We're 9 cents short in debt service, or it goes under within a year. Then we're adding another nickel to be able to service the 500,000. And then, as Brent was bringing up here, we're short $1 million for fund balance, that's 50 cents. That totals out to 64. Pay raises for elected officials comes out another 2 pennies. And then, I mean, based on past performance, we'll probably enter into about 300,000 more budget amendments in the coming year. That's another 15 cents. And then, interest on the short-term loan will take out for $1 million, be another penny. So that's about 82 cents.
Where did you pull that $300,000 in budget amendments out of?
Well, I'm just saying,
You're just guessing.
based on what we've seen in the last couple of years, that's most likely.
You're just guessing, Dave.
Well, I said $1, you said 80, you.
I'm saying 82
lower than
cents.
82 cents.
Right. So, that's what I think reality.
All right, let's, when Mike gets back with the comptroller's letter for us, it'll almost be an hour that we've been here.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about it?
That's right. We've argued about school.
But now, in order to bring the debt service back, how much sense with 500,000 you're talking about right now, and then what we've got in debt service right now, what's it gonna take to fully?
Well, at one time, we were putting a dime in debt
I'm not talking about
service.
one time, I'm talking about present.
Right, presently, we're putting 3 cents in.
Okay,
Okay?
so what is it
So to
gonna
get
take?
back, so to get back up what you used to be paying, you take the 7 cents.
Okay, so you're saying 7 cents will do, to keep the debt service rolling like what we got
No, I didn't
going
say
on?
to keep it rolling, I said that would get you back to what you used to be paying, but right now, let's see. You got it right there in front of you, Jim.
Well, you got 500,000.
We're estimating the fund balance to, 273,000. So that's that, about that.
Okay. supposed to keep debt service the way it's supposed to be, right? On 20 cents on the penny, that's an extra 200,000, right?
No, well, it's, I said 273, so it's more than, it's a little more than that, that's what, no, that's,
All right.
but this is the last one I have here. Let's see, it's May. See, we still got fund balance in there.
So 14 cents?
I'm not saying whether it be 14 or 9, but we figure out exactly what all we're gonna pull out there. That's why we're discussing this.
What's your figures? Well, I understand that too.
That's speculation.
This is speculation, but still, we're knowing what we've got here. Right?
We don't have to put it all back in at once.
That's right. This-
You didn't-
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
But we've already $1 million last year, that's what I'm saying, we've already $1 million last year.
get started.
To get started, and that's why I threw 1 million to start.
But then-
But I guess we could maybe try to get by on half of that. That's still, what, 25 cents?
When you borrow the million to start off with, the tax starts coming in October, November, then it's paid back. Now, when you start paying that back?
On what? If we
The
borrow-
startup money, yes.
Oh, we have like February.
Wait, February, pay.
And see, the county consideration we got.
Pardon?
Because that's when our property tax money comes in.
Nobody pays the property taxes until they're, October, November, December.
Someone don't pay a million.
And some of them have. The bad news we got last week was, how many thousand?
300.
$317,000 in delinquent taxes right now. $317,000.
We got a lot of people delinquent.
Really? We raised it 15 cents last year, a lot of people doing.
Well, my theory is that those people, my theory is those people about 20 years ago when the federal government forced these banks to give people loans that didn't need to be property owners anyway, and now that's coming back. They've got something that they,
How much penalty do we collect off that?
we do collect the penalty. When they finally catch up, we collect the penalty and we get more than we would have gotten, but that still puts us in a budget crunch now.
Right. Do we
Diane
need
was,
to- We need to raise that penalty to make them more fearful about
we probably do.
paying off.
Can,
That's the next thing you'd have to talk to.
the judges would know whether we could raise the penalty.
Well, our clerk and master.
The clerk and master, he's got the judges, I mean, selling somebody's property on courthouse steps is, has to go through a lot of hoops before you do that.
You don't want to do that. You
No,
want to just
we
pay
need,
the taxes.
we need property owners.
That's right. We need people to pay their property taxes on time. They've got a 6-month
But
window to do it.
if they saw that they were gonna be penalized a lot more than they are now, then it may make some of them a little more, ambitious about
And
paying.
Glenn, that's 300,000 more than it was last year, right?
Well, see, we're
Or am
still,
I wrong?
we still got delinquent taxes from the year before.
Oh, yes, they don't set it to you about 3 years.
This is 14 and 15. 14 and 15.
Okay.
Not 14.
That's 2 years.
14.
Is there anything else y'all want to discuss tonight? James, anything else you want to go back to? Richie?
I missed last week, last meeting, so I.
Well, that's what we went to.
Decisions here.
That's right, that's what it's saying. What?
We gotta start talking,
Tim?
We gotta make
we gotta start making some
What we
hard
want to
calls
put
here.
there.
I mean, hey, let's step up.
We're gonna be here for the rest
Yeah,
of the
we'll
year.
be here, yeah, we'll figure this out before Christmas.
Like, let's say, what about county general?
Yeah.
I'll be with county general,
141.
I mean, the one that has.
Y'all make y'all wanna finalize county general tonight? James Holloway? Okay, go ahead.
All right, now as far as, county general, your estimated fund balance of next June is $190,000. And that's with all the expenditures and stuff that we had talked about as far as Donald Preston's office. And then the judge, the money for the computers and all that stuff.
Yes, they're already
And
doing
that,
that now.
all right, and then Lynn
Yes, they already got it.
taking computers.
One thing I will say, and the sheriff, they don't even know this, but we just had a rate increase on our Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it's an increase. So next year, that one's gonna be a little lower.
Thank you, Mr. Obama.
All right.
How much increase?
It was like, it was about $32 per person. Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Non-profit last week.
Wow.
$600 over last week, what we had.
I went back and changed everybody else's, but I didn't change theirs.
Okay, so this is, the increases for him is not in this one. So, how many employees you got, Darrell, combined? 34? You said it, employees. And then you said it went up $22 a person, 32? Is all of y'all taking insurance? All your people? Well, but everybody else is, Ms. Hill.
Miss Martha does, and,
205. I'm basing it on this one.
we got a new one
205.
come on board that she's gonna be taking on.
There's changed a lot.
All right, so 205,000 off of the 193.09. Well, that's what I'm saying.
And that includes all insurance, all county employees. 55.
How many, Slim?
That would take.
Yeah, last time I looked, it was 104.
55,000.
116 people.
That kind of thing?
Well, I think
17%.
Well, my mental health insurance tripled.
I mean, I know I got a letter saying it's going to.
So, you know.
If that's the case, then I'll throw one, if they want to read the budget, because that'd be a deficit. Because right, what
All right.
gave us is at 33,000.
141, all right?
Hold on. We'll come up with- What's your bottom line?
Ending budget, ending fund. But the comptroller's not gonna accept a deficit budget though, correct? So, this 55,000, then that puts us, 18,000 in the hole.
The sheriff also made a comment that this board of prisoners may be significantly less. Is this 96,000 proposed next year a valid figure? Because it dropped from 122 to 238, and so it's already down, give or take $25,000. Is that 96 accurate figure?
What line is
It's an
that?
estimate that the sheriff has made. Boarding prisoners, is it pretty accurate? That's the question from the audience.
Be honest with you, those numbers, they don't have paperwork on them. We are decertified, so that means if the state calls tomorrow, wants my state inmates, every one of them gotta go. You ain't gonna get that.
And we don't have to feed them on them, though.
Right.
That's right. Okay. It's an estimate, Ron.
But it's all a big number. If you lose half of that, that blows your budget up.
We don't have to have as many people guarding fewer prisoners.
I'll tell you about prisoners, you don't know about prisoners.
Go ahead.
I got over 600 warrants sitting over there to be served right now. I don't have the manpower to serve it. I ain't got a place to put them. They're gonna cost you a fortune. That's just reality.
And that's litigation tax we need to be getting, right?
You,
Yeah, if those warrants were served.
where we gonna put it?
What's the solution?
Hey, buddy,
You should be lying.
if you wanna pay another county,
Hey, the
$50
state will make us
plus
think about it.
inmate.
You know,
Pay
probably
those
was
four
made
days, they can't afford to
years
keep
ago.
them bags over there now.
Well, the state will make us.
The state will make us build a new jail, a bigger, add on to the jail. We'd rather do it ourselves, not that, instead of state making us do it. Okay, back to county general. 141. Y'all just tell, don't, somebody make a motion.
141.
What's the current tax rate?
141 is what it's getting.
Overall.
You got a motion?
Yeah, what's about cost?
Jim, you got a motion?
I mean, we're gonna have to come up with some figures here, because the 141, and if your tax rate is 268,
Overall, yeah, overall pay, it's 268.
Yeah.
and then you go to 141. Yeah, European.
Zero. I mean, that would be a break even. I mean, it'd be a balance, you know, 143 would be pretty much a balanced budget, which would leave 157, 160, something like that.
So if you go 141.
Maybe that's.
The total expenditures for next year, 5.371 million.
Plus 55,000.
Yes.
Insurance.
Plus 55, James, too?
No,
No, just
accountant.
jail. You're looking at 144. If you go with what's going now, you're looking at 144.
144?
144.
That's what I said, 144. Are you comfortable with that?
Not really.
Okay.
But I mean,
Well,
that's,
you gotta-
that's gonna cover
You wanna?
a little
You wanna
over.
cut some of the stuff that we had don't do last week?
What you gonna do?
I'm just asking the question. To make it, you know, instead of 44, be 54.
I mean, you got 268 to play with. I mean, that's it. And you're looking at 144 just in general fund.
141.
144.
141, but he's saying for a year, he's gonna save 3 cents since he goes to the general fund.
Yeah.
And you gotta find it from the.
Oh, you want
the delta, you gotta find.
You're gonna have to have $1.44 to make general go.
But if you, again, what he's
You either gotta find.
If we go with what we're saying here, we've got to go with 144 to make it run.
But can we operate less than that?
What are you basing,
I'm basing on
well, I'm saying what number, which one?
general fund.
5.271.
271 plus the 55.
All right, you gotta take 410 off that, because 410 is a wash, it'll come out of debt service, if it's funded.
Okay, so you got.
So that's more, the
10.
only reason we have to put it in here is because the money comes in and goes out. So we take and subtract 410 and get 5.2.
But it's still not gonna change.
It's still right, it's not gonna.
Right, it's
Change
wash.
the revenue,
Right.
but you're not spending that much money out of county general, that's what I'm saying. That's a little deceiving.
So now,
410 over.
Yeah, we had on both sides.
all right, with general fund, like what we're looking at right now, all right, it's 144. Okay?
Now, it's 141 right now, you're just saying.
That's what it's gonna take to run it, 144. All right, now, we've got $1.24 to play with. Now, all right, schools get right now 88 cents, right?
Yes. He said 144, including that.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So that leaves you 36 cents. After you, if you're gonna do 88 cents like we did last year for schools, that leaves you 36 cents to do whatever else there is. And you got debt service and solid waste. How much is solid waste?
16, so that leaves 16, so that leaves 20.
That leaves you 20
What
cents.
is that?
Ambulance is
19,
20.
20?
Well, there you go. Boom. You just shot the tax rate.
All right, bring a proposal that you want to pass and offer to the committee.
And we need to start it, how you gonna start the account? You gonna have to go to the bank, borrow money?
We've already got that to the comptroller's office, to get it approved by July 1.
Are you gonna borrow $1 one time, or how much you gonna borrow?
Up to, we just put up to.
We get approval all at one time, we'll only borrow as we need. Of course, that won't affect your tax rate.
No, I don't want to fix that, but it's still, we've been in business for, I don't know, how long has the county been in business? So we're borrowing money to start off the year. I mean, that's kind of, I don't know. We can-
People want you to run a time.
Well, I'll tell you, we're gonna have to do one of two things. We're gonna have to cut her to the bone again, or we're gonna have to raise taxes. What do you want to do? You want to cut, or you want to raise taxes?
No,
I'm asking you, Mark.
I'm not gonna vote on this committee.
I'm asking you, what is your
I'll do some
opinion?
of both. Just like
Oh,
we did last year.
you're gonna raise taxes and
Some of
cut.
both. But you can't get by cutting it all because doing all the cutting because we got by this last year, but we won't build a fund balance.
All right.
But the monkey wrench of the debt service thing is something that was unforeseen.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's bring,
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
let's just, let's
You know,
just,
Blue Cross,
Get it
Shield
over with.
price increase is unforeseen too, yeah.
How much you want to raise?
raise it $1.
Raising $1,
Raise taxes $1.
that's crazy.
Well, this is crazy. I'm falling right in line with this right here.
Where you want to cut it? If you want to, you go and cut.
Well, like I said, raise it $1. That way you'll have extra fund in your general fund where you won't have to borrow no more money.
So
Hey.
it cost us what, well, how much did you pay last year?
I think
About $15,000.
15,000, I think.
So it cost us $15,000 to borrow
We would-
money.
There's a possibility they won't make the deal. That's been.
See?
Well, I mean, if we even compromise and said 50 cents,
Still ain't gonna get you out of the water.
it helped.
Well, yeah, hell. I mean, come on.
Let's cut the REACH program. That's something we
Well, see, that's
No, that can go in with under the school.
Yeah, but it doesn't cost us. It's all grant.
It costs you money if you have to fund it.
We don't, no, we get our money back. We get all of it.
Where does the money come from that you give before it's funded back?
We borrow it and pay it.
That makes a whole lot of sense when the school's got the money.
We'd have had the money if it hadn't been
I say cut it.
But it's not costing anything.
It don't matter, put it with the schools, that's where it belongs.
Oh, I agree, but if they won't take it,
That's their problem.
it's our problem.
Talk to the
No,
school-
it ain't our problem,
talk to
we
the
don't
school
have to
board
do
about
it.
that. All right, Jim, you got a
Oh,
proposal?
I agree with you.
I mean, that, all it is free
Unless
baby
we
steps,
just
is all it
absolutely
is.
just go back to where we were last year with no projects of no kind at all, and the only one you've got that's got priority over anything is that Rescue Squad truck program. That's the only moral obligation we have.
Now, those things are not year-to-year expenses, though. I mean, day-to-day expenses.
But you're gonna have to raise your sins.
Brent, you got a motion to make?
I don't know, should I make a motion? Should I? What do you think, Richard? Well, I mean, I don't want this to be America's funniest county. We tried to get the taxpayers to help us out some by increasing the 1 cent sales tax, which would really help. I don't know, Hunter, how much do you say? 1 cent sales tax?
Well, it's 175, 175 now, it was raised to 275, it brings in to solid waste, half of the solid waste. About 235, so what would it be?
About $220,000 would have really helped us.
No, it wouldn't have raised it, that's what comes in now,
It's about
$175.
$60,000 for it.
This is Jeremy.
How long do you need that?
Well, we're paying, everybody's paying, every county in the state's paying the maximum except us.
If I understood, you said we need to ask the county to help.
No, it was not, it was a referendum that they closed down. Hadn't passed that, but it was.
You 16, solid waste. This is that,
Which is the fairest tax there is. Everybody has to pay that.
I mean, that's what I'm shooting for, right, you know. What's that old saying? Fixers don't lie, people do.
Got that right.
To do what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's that right there.
Well, I mean, we haven't really, we're not gonna cut any kind of functionality. I don't wanna talk economic theory. I do think though that from a standpoint of local, taxation rate, you're always better to try to keep as much money in private hands as you do in public hands. When you bring it on the table, like we're doing, it could cause a lot, it could bring some people financially to a tough way to go. I mean, if you continue to add a revenue flow from property tax rate, there is a breaking point.
Oh, sure.
I'm not sure, exactly where it is, and it might be up to individual households. If you look at 14,000 people, half of that are probably homeowners.
I mean, it's about $300,000.
What's that?
I bet it's about $300,000.
Yeah.
People didn't pay.
But, yeah, then you got, right, and that's what I've been asking about, what's the delinquency rate? Is the delinquency rate going up?
10%.
Yeah.
It was 8, now it's 10.
So the delinquency rate keeps going up, that's usually an indicator that we may have some economic stress going on in the community, and the best thing to do is to lower taxation. But then again, you have to cut services, and when you do that, that means some people that are tied to, what we got about, probably 500 people tied to the local economy, well, maybe more than that, maybe 750. If you count the percentage of what goes to schools, and you got about 200 people, 200 plus amount working in the courthouse. So that is, am I right? How many people you got on the?
How many's on the payroll?
Well, how many people are tied to the local fund?
It's up or down.
Probably about, we've got 500 teachers and.
I don't know what I said, I honestly don't know, but they're the largest employer in the county.
But they only get roughly under 20% local from us anyway, of their pay. So.
But Donald, is the delinquency, is it up, down, about the same?
think they said it was up, I'm not sure.
All right, we was at 8%, now we're at 10.
Okay.
But, now, one thing's hurt us, now, keep this in mind, this may be like a shortfall, is, the legislature, or the governor, or somebody took off the, nursing home, Ohio, but they don't pay property tax anymore. Stones River Hospital sold to St. Thomas, that cost us $40-something thousand in personal property. 20-something on that, and then when they finished the highway, the equipment out there,
Well, that was 75,000, wasn't it? Personal property
For
tax.
a year or two, yeah. So you're talking $150,000.
But Mike, all that was known for this budget issue, so if that was not taken on the budget, shame on y'all. All those factors were known.
No.
You told me in your office about the hospital coming off, and about the nursing home.
But this coming off this year, so they.
But that's what I'm saying, those figures should be taken off the budget
Well,
this year.
and that's why our collection rate is
All right.
much what it's saying.
No, sir, no, it shouldn't be, because those should be taken off the figures to start with, should have been
Well,
in the
that
budget.
was, that's why.
That's what I'm saying.
84.
What's the county's stance on delinquent property taxes? How long do they go before they're put on the, for sale on the courthouse steps?
Don, you'll have to answer that question.
Delinquency, how long before
If we go.
they short sale down here?
How long before you turn it over? 3 years.
2 years.
You give them a year and then turn it to the president, turns it over to the.
Got this right here.
That's whatever he does.
2 to 3 years. Before your property is sold.
The person buying it has to pay all the back taxes.
You gotta pay all the taxes, penalty, and.
Not with what we're putting on it this year, though.
Pardon?
Huh?
Cuts more.
If you take a dime out of schools, put it in debt service. Okay? It'll work. That's what we got to. If you don't. But the thing about it is, man, everybody's gonna have to pull their belts up. We asked them to do it, they're gonna have to do it this year.
I mean, I look at this every day, everybody works really hard. I check, just to order a box of paper, I check 4 different times. Everybody does that because money is always an issue.
Oh.
So we,
I forgot to ask this. All right, we've got a maintenance guy, right, building maintenance guy, and then we've got a janitor, right? Did we contract a guy to come in and wax these floors and go back? We did.
We,
Somebody did it.
one office was waxed and stripped and waxed yesterday.
All right, did that come out of her budget?
Come out of her office.
Okay.
She paid for it out of her office.
Okay. That's good enough.
Now,
Now, all right, this is what you got, you don't have no tax increase,
you got a proposal?
but it ain't gonna get no better. I mean,
No.
we're gonna be looking at this from now on.
Listen, John. The decision that you got in debt service now, 150, 60, 75, and how much, 145, or something. You're gonna have to pay back that bill, which we haven't been told yet how I don't even pay it. You know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
We didn't give anybody, it's just in the wrong place. So we're gonna have, we don't know yet how long they'll give us, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, I don't know. I don't know, if they give us 10 years, that's $100,000 a year.
I don't think they do.
They might, because it's 10 years before the school's supposed to be paid off. So they might, I'm not telling you, they might. If they gave us, say if they gave us 10 years, that's $100,000 a year, that's a nickel. So whether it's $100,000, we don't know yet for sure what. If you've got so in mind, cut funding schools, we don't know for sure yet how much.
This is tonight.
Mike, what's your best guess on what you just covered? And I understand what you're saying. What is your best guess on
How long they'll give us? Well, my hope is 10, because, we got the 2026, and we can even pay it off sooner than that, simply because we've got a great fund balance there. My best guess is 5, would be my guess, but that's.
So that'd be,
That'd be, 200,000 a year.
that'd be the 10 cents.
But
And with the 10 cent going into debt
that's just a guess.
I agree with you, I think you helped a lot.
I think 5, but I'm hoping for 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you know.
That's 10 cents.
What's the bottom line on it?
That'd be 10 cents.
And where's the dollar from? Of course, you know,
county general, solid waste and that is $561,000.
over the 3.
That count the capital outlay,
That's a wash.
Yeah.
That's a wash. So, you know, we're gonna have to figure out one or two things. Either we're gonna have to keep not trying to keep up with the Joneses, or we're gonna have to do within our means of what this county can do.
Our revenue is our means.
Right.
We need to do within our means.
Right. And, you know, like I said, the only alternatives we have is either this right here, or we go back, we roll everybody back to where they were last year. The only 2 increases that we'll have will be Donald President's office and election. Because they've got 2 elections this year. Okay, now. So if we do that, and we can still run the debt service with the cars and all that, that's what's been nice.
We're insured 116
But we're taking 5 out, putting 5 on.
Yeah, but his point is, again, how many departments have we got in this county? How many departments we got in this county that would insure 116 vehicles? If you,
Of course, the other vehicle. Well, I mean, you know, of course, between the highway department, that's what we're paying for. That's what we're paying for.
but their insurance company is charging us for 116 vehicles.
Insurance?
I think.
I still get that all, still missing a page here.
So we got how many?
116 vehicles we're insured.
Well, with their insurance, insuring 116 vehicles for us.
That's all.
Over a cheaper company.
That's all.
Trying to figure out where 116 vehicles are.
That's what I'd like to know.
Something, now, I'll tell you what, and I don't know if this is the case, that there could have been in some departments, some vehicles sold over government deals or whatever, and never was taken off the insurance.
Well, who's responsible for that?
That
If that be the case.
Whoever, that department, whoever keeps up with the cars. I don't know that that happened, I'm just saying that could have happened.
That's every fire truck,
That-
every,
Brush truck.
brush truck, et
There's a
cetera.
fire vehicle that we're paying for insurance.
And
We got sidetracked.
So what
Just the proof right there, isn't it?
These are my numbers.
So we need a running inventory of all the equipment that's on this insurance.
That's what I got.
Because that's a little much. 100 and some odd vehicles.
That's, how many of these fire departments have got, Karen, how many of those are y'all's?
We only have 1 vehicle, but some of them have.
I know West Side's got 3 or 4.
West Side's got 2.
2,
Yeah, you got
don't still have a brush truck?
They sold the brush.
Oh, it's sold it, okay.
Midway's got 8.
Okay, we're getting sidetracked though.
So, do we want to go back to last year?
What about the numbers that you handed out tonight, is that?
Well, what I'm saying, do you want to go back to last year's where everybody ran on in their fiscal year, the end of this year?
No, because we've already lived on all those, and some of them need more, some of them need less. You'll be increasing some of them if you say go back to last year, I don't do that. Some of them are getting less this year.
Some of them ask for less.
Some of them ask for less.
Some of them ask for
So
less.
don't just blindly say, well, I'm gonna give what you had last year, when they already asked for
But
less.
then you have some that
City
wanted 5%.
departments get any raises.
Those man-
Like
state
the county
mandates.
judge
State mandate.
Sure.
So we've done our work all these
That's the
weeks.
numbers, I thought I saw some raises.
We went through all these weeks, determining which one needed to be up and which one needed to be down, and that's what that document that Diane generated right there, and I gave you, generate that. So don't just blindly just say, we're gonna go back to last year, and when some of them didn't even ask for what they had last year. That's not doing your job.
I think I did my job when I went through and I gave a proposal. What they asked for, or what they operated under, with the exception of the contract that, county executive's office updated, and that was my proposal.
Applaud your work.
Would it work? Would it work?
Did it work this year?
It did.
No, it won't work, because we
We don't
lost
have
one
budget.
Because what?
certain things.
The commitments need to be on there.
Can you do us just a little bit more work and take that same figure?
I've already done that.
All right.
I put in what Glenn gave us there, and that's what's in here. Except for what we know that, we already know what, we've already got a bill from the bigger issues, we already know all that.
What they operated under was the commitments, or what they asked for, was the commitments, right?
It's all right with me.
That's just the general fund, right?
That was just a general fund.
That's just right, we didn't
I
look at.
also proposed taking that 2.75% that we did not take from ambulance and solid waste last year. That, I think, needs to be done. We should have done that last year.
Ricky
We
did
did not
that.
do it.
Ricky's done it.
Yeah,
It's 10,000.
it's
He
in
got
there.
another 10,000 out.
Good man, good man.
They did what we asked them from last week. So
Really,
here's the one.
24,000.
Now, the next one, that doesn't leave anything but the solid waste. Now you got a proposal.
What I proposed last, what I just said.
What, give me a figure for that though. Is what? Will 141 cover that? Would it cover it last
No.
year? Okay.
No,
You can act like that. Do you have a motion this week?
the only thing, if y'all.
We're not covering, the question is debt service.
Right.
We're gonna pull it out of schools.
All right.
That's just the unspoken thing, but I'll say it, we're gonna pull out of schools enough to do debt service.
All right, you
How
got
much,
one.
how much is that? I mean,
What do you think, Jamie?
How much is that?
how much is it?
What was your statement, Mark?
Pull enough out of schools to fix debt service.
I mean, we need about, how much we need in debt service? We don't know yet.
Depends on what they're doing.
Fund those funds.
Depends on how much you fund this year of those debt service items.
You're saying debt service at 143 and 144, or leave no way?
Debt service is
No,
3 cents right now.
3 cents right now.
And we need to, if we do all the, everything we ask for to make the payment on the loan, it's about 9, right? It's about 6 cents, right? Am I wrong? Mike's shaking his head. Not about
6 cents what?
6 cents plus 3 cents is 9 cents. Would that cover the debt service of roughly a dime? But we'd have to find that somewhere.
200,000.
I mean, going back to the May 12, and that's the latest one I have, I mean, it's 13 cents to break even.
Okay, yeah, okay.
We got a later one today.
Okay, this is what we've got. You got 144 going into general.
Right.
You got 78 going to schools. 78.
Dime cut?
Dime cut.
What's a pretty hefty cut?
They still got 100,000.
What can you do that? Is that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, I'm sure maybe we get into some nice legal wrangling over it, but, you know, I'm an amateur actor.
16 cents go to solid waste. 26 goes to ambulance and 10 cents goes to debt service.
26 ambulance?
20.
20.
That's what I was gonna say, it's 20.
You said 10 to death.
10 goes to debt service, 144 goes to general, 78 to schools. Well, let's just, what do you call it, petrify me on this. 16 in solid waste, 20 ambulance, and 10 in debt service.
And that's sheriff's.
Well, I mean, that's general fund.
That's general fund.
Why don't we cut more off ambulance service, shouldn't be fair? I mean, if we're gonna give schools a little bit more. Everybody, like you said, 2.75%.
Well, that's just what we did to the restaurants.
Right. So he
did-
he cut that last week, that's a half a
If you
cent.
just cut that off, solid waste, you cut it off ambulance service, you cut that off schools. I did. Right, that's what I'm saying. If you cut our general fund, you know, then you went ahead and made it even, you know, and we can't get there.
Is that a bubble in there?
Well, let's say
That's a bold move.
Let's
Show
say
us on the side.
Yes.
I can get a hold of schools and see what at least an estimate what they're gonna make, not the schools, the state Department of Education, and see what they're gonna make us, or give me an estimate of what they're gonna make us do.
Yeah, ask for the,
What you want here is reasonable because the note that has 10 more years to be paid.
I agree, and that's what I'm going,
tell them to send us the basic education program allocation, and we want to see that number, total required local maximum funds, that's what we're.
When he's talking about the comptroller.
I'm sorry, I should have said comptroller. I
Oh,
said,
you said education.
Yeah, I misspoke.
Okay.
Let me do that, y'all tell us some rough ideas what you want to do with this, just rough idea, let me and Diane sit down and look at it and see. What I'm getting, sitting here, I'm wanting to, same funding for solid waste, same funding for animals with that $3,000. Now, debt service, you'll have to just look, are you looking at funding everything that's asked for this year, or part of it?
We still gotta give, I mean, we gotta do, we gotta do something for debt service, we gotta find that somewhere. Right, so we gotta find debt service somewhere, I mean,
If you don't-
About putting dime, we're not figuring dime in it.
Dime coming out of schools and going into debt service. That's the only way to do it.
What do you want to fund? I'm talking about the request this year. Of course, we'll have some things come off at 17, I forget a couple.
That's, all right, debt service, that'd be 300,000, so how much more do you need than that? Other than what you got?
Depends on what y'all want to fund, that's what I'm getting at.
Well,
Do you
all
want
right,
to
so
fund
it's-
the race cars, the court, the painting of the courthouse, well, and you're nearly, you've got to fund that rescue squad.
Yeah.
Rescue squad truck is how much?
Yeah.
All
That's
right. You said 60,000 for the,
an estimate,
All
yeah,
right.
fix this trim and paint the courthouse.
and the cop cars was 150,000.
Ambulance service, they lowered it to 104 because they don't have to buy a generator now. 911's gonna pass one now.
Anyway,
104.
And,
fire.
oh, fire trucks 125.
It's 540,000.
And what's the debt service right now? How much is debt service right now?
Yeah, but that's all earmarked, right? So that's
We
why.
just, it's, yes and no. We've got payments we gotta make.
Right.
And we've got enough to make.
Okay.
And that's why it's important for us to at least have an idea of what you want to fund in debt service.
Right.
Well, we're already obligated to stuff we call.
So we got 3 cents to keep
If
it in.
I'm not mistaken, we owe 400-some thousand in debt service. But a couple of them paid off this year. That's if you fund nothing.
We owe what now?
It's 400 and some thousand, it's, best I remember, like.
What's your balance right now? I think that's
And their
what you-
balance is, I thought it was 4, Diane thought it was less.
Yeah. I mean, if we're, just by rough math, we're already we're on a steep decline, we're gonna wear it out. It'll be, when will it be out? It'll be exhausting.
Well, let's say we got enough in there to pay what we owe right now in debt service. We still gotta have some to pay back into school debt service, plus any youth fund.
Yeah, I'm trying not to spend any of the extra you have in debt service. I'm trying to find out what's the actual increase is going to be, put that for the property tax.
We'll have to work and just see, we can figure it funding all that, the Jim just figured, or we can look at funding half of it, part of it, we'll look at that this week. Do y'all, we've got a county commission meeting next week.
Next Tuesday.
Oh, 2 weeks from now, that's when
Do
this.
you wanna meet Tuesday night, or do you wanna wait and just meet?
Barbara's still, but that's when they have it.
Barbara won't have her-
2 weeks from the night.
2 weeks from the night.
5th, is that right?
The county commission meeting's the 16th. If there's
Seven.
any way,
7.
we could sure use a budget on that night of some kind, so we could vote on it the 16th. Of course, if you get real close, we can come back the next night and meet. But it'd take us time to print them all out and get copies and everything and send them to you.
Well, I think we've made progress tonight because we have some figures down here that we can work towards. Now, we need, but now, Lynn, I want you to hold the line on what these things you figure out something else that we can cut if you need to.
Well, could we,
So the seven,
like, well, I mean, you know, seven, get your department.
Seven, that's right.
All of these vehicles that are insured.
You need to, I want you to find
New
out,
department heads.
Darryl, y'all take off those, off insurance, when you sell one, do you take it off, or do you depend on them?
We take them all.
Y'all take them off.
Each department takes them off, but there could be one or two of this. What we need to do is get a printout of each department's vehicle, send it to that department head, and let them go over it and tell them which one.
Sharon, does the fire board go over their vehicles every single year and say that we're insuring this many?
They haven't looked at it in the last couple of years, but,
We need to look at that again, because we're to the point we need to
this, we need to have an insurance committee meeting.
cut out any, the insurance committee probably needs to.
We need to take bids on it.
Me and Michael went through the list last year and got with Travis, and we took off everything that was on there.
Okay.
For instance, New Place had a Jeep Kaiser on there, they had that in here. But right now, Moortown's got 3 trucks sitting outside that don't run. And they're still on insurance.
Did you Cherokee that's all 2 years ago still?
So we need to get all of them taken off.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? All right, we'll be back here on the 7th, is that right, that Thursday night?
County commission meeting next Thursday.
Next Thursday night, the regular
It's
monthly.
at 5 o'clock as well.
If we, on the 7th, it'll give you enough time to advertise.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
If we come up with a budget July 7th, that's the quickest we've done in several years.
that's right.
Are we ready? Did I get that? Mark. Are we?
Like the hat.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Y'all are real dependent on ability.
Hey, Tom. Who's that name that you got with you? I don't know, somebody followed you in. Has you ever got any lights on that thing yet? Yeah. That's what